He was supposed to spend the next 20 years behind concrete and steel, but one foggy night in October, he simply disappeared. No alarms, no witnesses, only a trail of silence and a single, broken lock. Michael Reed wasn't born a criminal. In his early 20s, he was a construction foreman, a husband, a father, a man with debt and pride. But one mistake changed everything. A robbery gone wrong left a store clerk wounded and Michael behind bars. When the judge said, 20 years, no parole, his world collapsed into the cold routines of Greywood State Penitentiary, a place known for its cruelty and indifference. For 12 years, Michael lived like a shadow. He read law books, fixed electrical panels, earned the guards' trust. But behind his calm eyes, he was studying something else. Every corridor, every camera angle, every routine. He wasn't rehabilitating, he was rehearsing. In the early hours of October 12th, the prison was still. The night guards changed shifts. The cameras flickered, and in that moment of silence, Michael Reed made his move. He pushed a cleaning cart down Corridor 3, just as he had done countless times before. But this time, he wasn't cleaning. He was vanishing. 30 seconds later, the feed went black. By the time it came back on, the cart was overturned, and the door to the outer maintenance tunnel was open from the inside. No alarms, no footprints, no trace. When morning came, investigators swarmed Greywood. Detective Sarah Vega stood in the command center, staring at the flickering monitors. It wasn't disbelief in her eyes, it was curiosity. She'd met Michael years ago, during a contraband inquiry. Polite, intelligent, a man who watched everything and said very little. Now, he was gone. Warden Douglas Crane insisted it was impossible, but the facts said otherwise. Someone had disabled the power grid, forged a maintenance log, and cloned a guard's key card. The timing was perfect. Too perfect to be luck. Officer Kareem Holt, the last person to see Michael alive, said he looked calm, not desperate, not afraid, just ready. Within 48 hours, the FBI joined the search. Roadblocks went up, helicopters circled the surrounding counties, and Greywood became a fortress of questions. Investigators retraced Michael's past, his wife, his brother, his former employer. Every lead went cold, until a journalist changed everything. Laura Jennings, an investigative reporter, published a headline that exploded across the internet. Greywood's perfect prison break, inside the walls that whispered. Her sources hinted at corruption inside the prison. A guard, perhaps more sympathetic than loyal, might have helped. And the spotlight turned to Officer Holt. He denied involvement, but guilt hung heavy in his voice. He told investigators Michael had said the system broke men like him, and he believed him. Days later, a gray utility van was found deep in a northern forest, abandoned. Inside were food wrappers, a map of Canada, and a handwritten letter addressed to E.J., his daughter. For weeks, the manhunt continued. Posters, checkpoints, rumors. But in the end, it wasn't a SWAT raid or a police chase that ended it. It was a surrender. 3 weeks after his escape, at dawn, a patrol officer spotted a barefoot man walking along Route 19. It was Michael Reed. He was tired, shivering, holding that same letter in his hands. He didn't resist. He just whispered, "It's over." In court, under the soft gaze of Judge Marianne Keller, the world finally heard his voice. When asked why he did it, he said, "Because no one listens to you when you're caged." I needed the world to see me one last time. The jury listened. The cameras rolled. The world argued, was he a criminal or a casualty of a broken system? He received 15 more years, but to many watching, the punishment didn't matter. What mattered was what he'd proven. Even in the tightest cage, a man can still outthink the walls built around him. Detective Vega returned to Greywood months later. The tunnel had been sealed, the locks replaced. Rain fell softly over the concrete. She stared at the new steel door and whispered, "The system's not made to hold ghosts." Michael Reed became more than an inmate number. He became a story, one that questioned the meaning of justice, redemption, and freedom itself. Because sometimes escaping isn't about running away. It's about forcing the world to finally listen. This is Awaken True Crime. Don't forget to subscribe and tell us, was Michael Reed truly guilty or simply human?